वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Good morning, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of Divash's Bollywood Bites this fine Saturday, the 9th of July 2022. I welcome all our listeners to enjoy the very best of Bollywood wholesome entertainment, facts, trivia and interviews together with your favourite music. For the next 2 hours, you have Divash's company on Divash's Bollywood Bites up until 12 noon today. The weather, and guess what? Warmer weather is on the way. So, with high pressure in charge, there will be little change to the weather throughout the weekend, which will allow temperatures to increase day on day. So, from today onwards and over the weekend, temperatures are going to be in the mid to high 20s Celsius for many. However, in the far northwest, it will remain cloudier and cooler with rain at times. And this situation remains the same into the start of next week, which means that further dry and sunny weather and temperatures will be climbing higher during Monday and Tuesday, likely peaking on Tuesday with temperatures possible in the low 30s Celsius in parts of England and Wales and the high 20s elsewhere. So, overall, your outlook? Variable clouds throughout the outlook period, though most parts will be dry and fine with lengthy, clear and sunny spells. Temperatures will be above average, breezy at times, but overall you've got a good weekend of great sunshine. Maximum temperature today will be 25 degrees, minimum temperature 13 degrees. So thank you Maya Ben and Hiren for announcing this show this morning. I trust that you all had fun listening to mine and Anjana Masi's weekly antics in our drive time show yesterday, and these are yet to come in our show on Monday. Before we get to our show on Monday, let's get through today's show and Divash's Bollywood flashbacks tomorrow. And I'd like to start off with a beautiful song which starts off and kicks off the subject of today's programme, which, if you guys don't already know, this pays tribute to one of my favourite actors of today's generation, Abhishek Bachchan. And this song is from his first film, the vocals of Sonu Nigam, together with Alka Yagnik from the film Refugee, music by Anu Malik and lyrics by Javed Akhtar, released in the year 2000 and produced and directed by J.P. Datta.
जब ये जिंदगानी चली, ताल पे जब ये जिंदगानी चली, हम हैं दीवाने ये कहानी चली।
And I would like to dedicate this beautiful number to my sister Rakhi Dave, who is celebrating, or rather has celebrated her birthday yesterday, and she jumped into a new year today. Best wishes from Divash, from Sapna, from Ayal, from Mahi, from Suri, from Andrea, your dear husband all the way in Italy, from your mum and dad Janu Mama and Sarla Mami, as well as from Milan Mithani as well. Have a wonderful, wonderful 12 months ahead of you, Rakhi, and I hope you enjoyed the celebrations yesterday.
जब ये जिंदगानी चली हम हैं दीवाने ये कहानी चली कहता हूँ मैंने जब से थामा है ये आंचल मेरी दुनिया में हर पल है जैसे कोई हलचल सच कहता हूँ मैंने जब से थामा है ये आंचल मेरी दुनिया में हर पल है जैसे कोई हलचल सपने सजने लगे साज बजने लगे बदला मौसम हवा जो सुहानी चली ताल पे जब ये जिंदगानी चली ताल पे जब ये जिंदगानी चली हम हैं दीवाने ये कहानी
Once again, this song is dedicated to my dear sister, Rakhi Dave, who celebrated her birthday yesterday, the 8th of July, and best wishes from her family. And you know what? Lots more birthdays, Rakhi, lots more healthy birthdays, lots more beautiful moments with us all together. I hope you had a great one, Rakhi Dave. Now, Rakhi's birthday is very special to me personally because on the night that my late parents got engaged, that was the night that Rakhi was born all the way in Kisumu, Kenya, and so it was a double celebration for the family, a wedding and a birth. Happy birthday, Rakhi. The vocals of Alka Yagnik and Sonu Nigam from JP Datta's Refugee, starring and introducing Abhishek Bachchan and Kareena Kapoor. You are listening to BHF Radio. The time has just crossed 9 minutes past 10, which means that we've had our first song on Divash's Bollywood Bites, and this now starts my guest presenter's segment of the show, Master Arjun Vyas, with the Arjun Review. Good morning, Arjun.
Hey guys, how are you doing on this wonderful weekend?
Really good, Arjun, and even more happier that now you are on air as well. Tell me, Arjun, which film are you presenting to our listeners today?
Today's movie I want to talk about is called Bluffmaster.
Bluffmaster, that's what people call me sometimes. Is this the old Shami Kapoor one or the Abhishek Bachchan one? When was it released?
It was released in 2005.
A new Bluffmaster. Great choice, Arjun. Tell me more.
All the songs in this movie are really good, but my favourite song is called Right Here, Right Now.
That's a great track, Arjun. Let's present that song right here, right now to our listeners. From the 2005 film Bluffmaster, the vocals of Abhishek Bachchan.
I wanna say hey to my player at HD with big props to Piggy Chops and Chuckmaster Sippy. My crew, the Bluffmaster movie, and those hip hop fakers, Vishal and Shaker. Here we go.
एक मैं और एक तू है और हवा में जादू है आरज़ू बेकाबू है समझो सारे बात बाकी वक्त का क्या भरोसा बन के पानी बह जाए कल अगर ना मिल पाए रह न जाए बात बाकी
right now है खुशी का समा
One divided one time.
right here right now हम हैं इस पल जहां
One divided two time.
भूल जाओ मुस्कुराओ रह न जाए बात बाकी
एक मैं और एक तू है और हवा में जादू है आरज़ू बेकाबू है समझो सारे बात बाकी वक्त का क्या भरोसा बन के पानी बह जाए कल अगर ना मिल पाए रह न जाए बात बाकी
come to me come to me
BLU to the double F master. Let's take it slow, girl. I'm a long master. Yeah, I'm a bad boy.
But I'm a good girl.
Out in the club on your bed, on your rock, girl. My rides are made back, so lay back while I drop the playback. Get to my crib and then you let's see if you can stay back. You fine, so fine. I'm gonna keep you smiling. Nice eyes, fine fur, pimp styling.
आओ मिल जाए हम यूं कि फिर ना हो जुदा Never gonna let you go girl Never gonna let you go No 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 ना हो कोई फासले ना हो दूरियां Never gonna let you go girl Never gonna let you go No 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 no
right here right now है खुशी का समा
One divided one time.
right here right now हम हैं इस पल जहां
One divided two time.
भूल जाओ मुस्कुराओ रह न जाए बात बाकी
I'm the master of the love stuff. I take the smooth, but I love the rough stuff. The ladies just can't be getting enough of the love stuff. Now I can be gentle, I can give it tough love.
एक मैं और एक तू है और हवा में जादू है आरज़ू बेकाबू है समझो सारे बात बाकी वक्त का क्या भरोसा बन के पानी बह जाए कल अगर ना मिल पाए
So, Divash, what do you think of the song I chose today?
I really like it, Arjun, and you know what? This is a great choice by you.
Bye guys, hope you have a good weekend, and bye to you as well, Divash Kaka.
Thank you so much, Arjun, and goodbye to yourself as well. Thank you for presenting this wonderful song.
See you next weekend.
I'm looking forward to it, Arjun. Bye for now.
Bye!
And that was the personal review and recommendation of 9-year-old Master Arjun Vyas, my guest presenter for Divash's Bollywood Bites. Now, Arjun guest presents this program every Saturday between 10:10 and 10:15, where he showcases his favourite films, his favourite music, and you just heard the song Right Here, Right Now from the film Bluffmaster, with music by Vishal Shekhar and the vocals of actor Abhishek Bachchan. And do you want to know something? I think that Arjun is doing a marvellous job. I think all our presenters are doing a great job, but in particular our younger guest presenter Arjun Vyas, I look forward to his segments every week, and every week he surprises me on a Friday that Divash Kaka, I'm presenting this song today, and I'm like, bring it on, matey. So hats off to 9-year-old Arjun Vyas. I want to see a day where he is also presenting a show of his own on your very own BHF radio. You're listening to BHF, and the time is coming up to 10:15. You have my company up until midday today, and I now present my next song, this time from the film Dhai Akshar Prem Ke. I present the vocals of Anuradha Bodwal together with Babul Supriyo singing for the real-life married couple Aishwarya Rai, together with the subject of today's show, Abhishek Bachchan.
ये समा ये नजारे हो गए हैं, हम कसम से तुम्हारे हो गए हैं। ये समा ये नजारे हो गए हैं, हम कसम से तुम्हारे हो गए हैं। रहता है दिल से हम हैं यहाँ, जुबां पे इन लबों पे बस तेरा नाम है। बेगाने इस जहां से क्या हमें काम है। ये समा ये नजारे हो गए हैं, हम कसम से तुम्हारे हो गए। अपना मजा।
ये समा ये नजारे हो गए हैं, हम कसम से तुम्हारे हो गए हैं।
डर लग रहा है मदहोशियों में, हम कर न बैठे कोई खता। ये समा ये नजारे हो गए हैं, हम कसम से
the vocals of Babul Supriyo together with Anuradha Podwal singing for Abhishek Bachchan and Aishwarya Rai. And Abhishek Bachchan is the subject of today's show. This song was from the film Dhai Akshar Prem Ke with music by Jatin Lalit. You are listening to BHF Radio. The time is 21 minutes past 10 and you have Divash's company up until midday today, and this program is Divash's Bollywood Bites, a weekly magazine program which presents the happenings of the film industry, the Bombay film industry that is, as well as your favourite interviews, trivia and music from your favourite films in recent times. But having said that, I also like to sort of scan different genres of music such as ghazal, such as qawwali, and obviously songs from the yesteryear. And my programme Divash's Bollywood Flashbacks pays further tribute to this every Sunday morning between 11 and 1, but I'd like to slip in a song from the yesteryear within this programme. And before we go any further, Abhishek Bachchan will be back later on during this programme. I've got a really exciting interview by veteran journalist Anupama Chopra.
I wasn't getting a job and nobody wanted to work with me, and I'd been to almost every director and producer in the industry that I knew, and even ones that I didn't know. I felt there was a sense of complacency that had crept into my work ethic. I ring the doorbell, said they're going to open the door, I'm going to go to bed now like a king. And my dad opened the door and he said, beta aa gaya? And I said, Amitabh Bachchan. Deflated right there. Like, that's God. You're nothing, man.
That's coming on further in the show, and you'll be able to realise how much pressure it was to be a star kid and the son of the great Amitabh Bachchan. More of that to come, but in the meantime, I'd like to present my next song. It's from the 1972 film Mere Jeevan Sathi, and this particular song is a song that I've been playing a lot over the last 6 weeks to 2 months. And sometimes, we have these songs that revisit us and they just stick to us, and I find myself constantly listening to this song these days. I played it on Divash's Bollywood Flashbacks last week, and I'd like to take this opportunity to represent this song in this show. The vocals of Kishore Kumar singing for Rajesh Khanna, who starred opposite Tanuja in this great film Mere Jeevan Sathi from the year 1972. The song is Kitne Sapne Kitne Armaan.
कितने सपने कितने अरमान लाया हूँ मैं, देखो ना देखो ना। हे मेरा दिल भी एक महफिल है, तुम भी कभी आओ ना बैठो ना। तुमसे मिलके यूं तो महक रहा हूँ, फिर भी मैं अकेला बहक रहा हूँ। अरे तुमसे मिलके यूं तो महक रहा हूँ, फिर भी मैं अकेला बहक रहा हूँ। मेरी अंधेरी है तन्हाइयाँ, कोई दिया तुम जला दो ना। हे कितने सपने कितने अरमान लाया हूँ मैं, देखो ना देखो ना। ज़ू 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 हर तरफ जहाँ भी पलक थमी है, प्यार की जहाँ में बहुत कमी है। अरे हर तरफ जहाँ भी पलक थमी है, प्यार की जहाँ में बहुत कमी है। बेरंग है ये मेरे रात दिन, तुम रंग कोई मिला दो ना। हे कितने सपने कितने अरमां लाया हूँ मैं, देखो ना देखो ना। कोई मुझ में देखे तो क्या नहीं है, हाँ वो गम में भीगी सदा नहीं है। कोई मुझ में देखे तो क्या नहीं है, हाँ वो गम में भीगी सदा नहीं है। मेरे तरानों में पड़ जाए जान, तुमको ये धड़कन जगा दो ना। हे कितने सपने कितने अरमां लाया हूँ मैं, देखो ना देखो ना। हे मेरा दिल भी एक महफिल है, तुम भी कभी आओ ना, बैठो ना, आओ ना, बैठो ना।
The vocals of Kishore Kumar picturized on Rajesh Khanna from the year 1972, and Rajesh Khanna was the first superstar of Hindi cinema. One of my favourites. You're listening to BHF Radio, and I will be presenting more of Rajesh Khanna on tomorrow's show, which is Divash's Bollywood Flashbacks. So do tune in between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock tomorrow, which is the show that I pay tribute to the golden era of Hindi cinema, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s and the early 70s. You're listening to BHF Radio. The time is coming up to 28 minutes past 10, and you have my company up until 12 noon today. I would like to present my next song, which is a live rendition from S.P. Balasubramaniam and Chitra. And they had a great pairing when it came to playback singing. And whilst they are South Indian singers, S.P. Balasubramaniam established himself as a Hindi singer in the film Ek Duje Ke Liye, and then followed by that the voice of Salman Khan after the release of the film Maine Pyar Kiya. And he did great playback for singing for Salman Khan in the film Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, together with many films. This particular film was the film Love, released in the year 1991, and it's a song which has been recently reintroduced to me after a gap of so many years, and I really feel as if I've fallen in love with this song. The song is Sathiya Tune Kya Kiya, sung live by S.P. Balasubramaniam and Chitra. Sung live in Kolkata in the year 2012. Check this out, what a great song.
साथिया तूने क्या किया, बेलिया ये तूने क्या किया।
मैंने किया तेरा इंतजार,
इतना करो ना मुझे प्यार, इतना करो ना मुझे प्यार।
साथिया तूने क्या कहा, बेलिया ये तूने क्या कहा।
यूं ना कभी करना इंतजार,
मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार, मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार।
साथिया तूने क्या किया, बेलिया ये तूने क्या किया।
And the male singer of this song, S.P. Balasubramaniam, what a lilting voice he's got. He had the amazing range of renditions that I can only compare to someone as great as Muhammad Rafi Saab. Absolutely amazing vocals. Also not forgetting K.S. Chitra, who is also equally as magnificent in this.
इतनी मोहब्बत सह न सकूंगा, सच मानो जिंदा रह न सकूंगा।
तुझको संभालो ये मेरा जिम्मा, मैं हूँ तो क्या गम जाने तमन्ना।
अब जीना मरना मेरा जानम तेरे हाथ है।
मैंने कहा ना सनम, अब तू मेरे साथ है।
तो फिर संभाल
ला 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 ला,
के मैं चला।
ला 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 ना कहा,
ला 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 ला
आ दिल में आ।
ला 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 साथिया, तूने क्या किया बेलिया, ये तूने क्या किया।
दिल के चमन का हंसना तो देखो, जागी नजर का सपना तो देखो।
ऐसे हुए हम एक जान एक दिल, तू है कि मैं हूँ कहना है मुश्किल।
झुमका बसंती है तू, तन है गुलाबी मेरा।
दो रंग मिलने के बाद होते नहीं है जुदा।
तो फिर संभाल
ला 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 ला
दिल ये चला,
ला 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 जाना कहाँ,
ला 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 ला,
आ दिल में आ।
ला 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 साथिया, तूने क्या कहा बेलिया, ये तूने क्या कहा।
यूं ना कभी करना इंतजार,
मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार, मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार।
इतना करो मुझसे प्यार, इतना करो ना मुझे प्यार।
The melody of A.R. Rahman, reproduced by Anand Milan from the film Love in the year 1991. Now, my next song was originally composed for the film Jis Desh Mein Ganga Behti Hai by veteran music directors Shankar Jaikishan. It didn't work for the film, the song was put on the back burner. The words were then improvised from Saiba to Baba for the film Bobby, but time didn't permit.
कि अब तक मुझ में सांस है, जान है, और इनसे कह सकता हूं कि सुन साहिबा सुन प्यार की धुन। सुन साहिबा सुन प्यार की धुन, मैंने तुझे चुन लिया, तू भी मुझे चुन।
This song was then selected for the then making in the 1970s of the film Henna, which was due to star Sashi Kapoor. Once again, that concept of henna was scrapped until 20 years later. And then, it found its way in the film Ram Teri Ganga Meli, picturized on Mandakini and Rajiv Kapoor. An absolute classic by Lata Mangeshkar, live in the year 1988.
प्यार की धुन
सुन साहिबा सुन प्यार की धुन मैंने तुझे चुन लिया तू भी मुझे चुन. What a beautiful track from the 1985 smash hit Ram Teri Ganga Mili. An absolutely beautiful song, and this has been composed by Ravindra Jain and is for all those people who are the true romantics out there. I'd like to present another romantic number at 41 minutes past 10, and I will be with you up until 12 noon today. And I would like to present a Nagma from the album Ashia. Now, this was an album released by T-Series in the year 1992, and it had some great vocals by my favourite ghazal singer Pankaj Udas, together with Anuradha Bodwal. With music by Lalit Sen and lyrics by Payam Saidi, here's a beautiful duet which captures the essence of romance. The album is Ashia.
तुझ बिन जीना पाएंगे हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे तुझ बिन जीना पाएंगे हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे तू धड़कन है मेरे दिल की ना होना दिल से जुदा
तुझ बिन जीना पाएंगे हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे तू धड़कन है मेरे दिल की ना होना दिल से जुदा
तुझ बिन जीना पाएंगे हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे
इस दुनिया में सबसे बढ़कर तुझसे प्यार है मुझको इस दुनिया में सबसे बढ़कर तुझसे प्यार है मुझको सांसों की जंजीर में दिलबर रख लूं बांध के तुझको साया तेरा बन जाएंगे जीवन तुझको बनाएंगे
तू धड़कन है मेरे दिल की ना होना दिल से जुदा
तुझ बिन जीना पाएंगे
हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे
जुदा
तुझ बिन जी ना पाएंगे
हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे तुझ बिन जी ना पाएंगे
हम तो सनम मर जाएंगे
I'm sure this song grew on you listeners the way it does on me. And you know what? It's just an evergreen track. It is the vocals of Pankaj Udas and Anuradha Podwal from the 1992 P-Series album presented by Gulshan Kumar. The album was Ashia. And the music is by Lalit Sen and lyrics by Payam Saidi. You are listening to BHF Radio. The time is coming up to 11:15. That's 10:45. And you have Divash's company up until 12 noon today. Now listeners, I really hope that you're enjoying this program today. As I said, whilst we are called Divash's Bollywood Bites, I pay tribute to different genres of music and different elements from the different ages as well, together with some ghazal, some qawwali and some great modern day stuff as well. It's with this that I want to present my next song, which is from the film Tere Naal Love Ho Gaya. The vocals of Atif Aslam together with Shreya Ghoshal. A great song from the year 2013.
तूने लब से आंखों को मन्नतें पूरी तुमसे ही तू मिले जहां मेरा जहां है वहां रौनकें सारी तुमसे ही ओ छू लिया तूने लब से आंखों को मन्नतें पूरी तुमसे ही तू मिले जहां मेरा जहां है वहां रौनकें सारी तुमसे ही
Everybody sing together.
पिया ओ रे पिया पिया रे पिया रे
Come on guys, you can sing louder than that. Send me your videos.
दूरियों ने नजदीकियों से सौदा कोई कर लिया हो झुके निगाहों ने दिल से इश्क का वादा कोई कर लिया
And once again guys, come on, open your lungs.
जैसे हम पे हो मेहरबान
One last time, my dear romantic listeners, open your hearts out. The vocals of Atif Aslam together with Shreya Ghoshal from the 2013 film Tere Naal Love Ho Gaya, Piya Piya Ore Piya, a beautiful track. You are listening to BHF Radio and the time is coming up to 10 minutes to 11. This is Divash's Bollywood Bites, which is a magazine program which pays tribute to the Hindi film industry and provides its listeners with music, trivia and news from that great film fraternity called Bollywood. I present my next song, sung by the late KK, who we sadly lost in early June, and this is a great song which pays tribute to this beautiful concept that we embrace. We call it life.
जिंदगी दो पल की जिंदगी दो पल की इंतजार कब तक हम करेंगे भला तुम्हें प्यार कब तक ना करेंगे भला जिंदगी दो पल की दिल में तुम्हारे छुपा दी है मैंने तो अपनी ये जान अब तुम ही इसको संभालो हमें अपना होश कहाँ बेखुदी दो पल की जिंदगी दो पल की इंतजार कब तक हम करेंगे भला तुम्हें प्यार कब तक ना करेंगे भला एक छोटा सा वादा इस उम्र से ज्यादा सच्चा है सनम हर मोड़ पर साथ इसलिए रहते हैं अब दोनों दोस्ती दो पल की जिंदगी दो पल की इंतजार कब तक हम करेंगे भला तुम्हें प्यार कब तक ना करेंगे भला जिंदगी दो पल की
From the film Kites, starring Hrithik Roshan and Barbara Murray, the song is Zindagi Do Pal Ki with vocals by the late KK. The time is 10:55 and I now take you to my segment on our favourite actor of the last 20 years, the son of the legendary superstar Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bhaduri, and husband of Miss World Aishwarya Rai.
Debating on the diabolic diagnosis of decisive deliverance, a papad is a rhythmic rhyme replica of a jhapad, where one relishes your hunger and the other relishes your anger. Similarly, sir, Bachchan is also a rhythmic rhyme replica of Bol Bachchan, where one represents a magnanimous name, while the other represents a horrendous game.
The title song from the film Bol Bachchan, which introduces my segment paying tribute to Abhishek Bachchan. Now, he was launched opposite Kareena Kapoor in the film Refugee, which I played a song to earlier on in the programme, in the year 2000, and his career graph has been a steady rise. Let's have this great song from the film Bol Bachchan.
सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन बोलो 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 बच्चन सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन बोलो 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 बच्चन सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन बोलो 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 बच्चन सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन
बोल बचन की बोली
गोली
बोल बचन की वाणी
शाणी
बोल बचन का कतरा
खतरा
बोल बचन की भाषा
झांसा इसकी ताल ताल है सतरंगी चाल ढाल है अतरंगी दिन में भी दिखा दे ये तारे रंग बिरंगी बोल 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 बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुनो सुनो बोले क्या बच्चन
जिसने भी लगाया मक्खन चला फिर वो ही ढक्कन जिसने छेड़ा ये सरगम
क्या बात
उसकी झोली में सौगम जिसको समझे तू औसम आफत का है ये मौसम जिसने भी किया ये आइटम लटका जैसे पेंडुलम
छोड़ दिया ख्याल करने पेंडुलम
पेंडुलम पेंडुलम
बोल 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 बच्चन
मेरे पिताजी कहते हैं कि मर्द को कभी दर्द नहीं होता।
हाँ, लेकिन ऐसा ही तू बोल बच्चन करता रहेगा तो एड़ी से सर तक दर्द होगा।
Yeah, you talking not right and body pain from tow truck to headlight.
झोल झाल के पनघट पे बहती है झूठ की नदियाँ वहाँ से सीधे हाथ पे है छल कपट की डगरिया
झोल झाल के पनघट पे बहती है झूठ की नदियाँ वहाँ से सीधे हाथ पे है छल कपट की डगरिया
बड़ी शेखी शेखी ये पगडंडी विनाश काली विपरीत बुद्धि तेरा भर गया घड़ा अब भरेगा क्या तू टंके बोल 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 बच्चन।
मेरे पिताजी कहते हैं कि दारू पीने से लिवर खराब होता है और मैं कहता हूँ कि बोल बच्चन से कुछ खराब नहीं होता।
नौटंकी घड़ी घड़ी ड्रामा करता है। अरे ऐसे ही बोल बच्चन करता रहेगा तो आसमान से गिरेगा खजूर में अटकेगा।
Yeah, falling from skyscraper, hanging into dry fruit and nectar.
बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले क्या बच्चन बोल 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 बच्चन सुन सुन बोले.
You know, we call someone a bol bachchan. This is people of the younger generation. A bol bachchan is someone who just talks big all the time and thinks they're it. And we grew up with that word, so it's really funny hearing this word bol bachchan. Now listeners, I present an interview by veteran journalist Anupama Chopra in conversation with superstar Abhishek Bachchan.
Abhishek, first of all, I'm really happy to be sitting here with you. It feels like it's been years.
It has been.
It has, no?
Yes, I think
Too long.
The last time we spoke was, for an interview was a good 7-8 years ago.
My God.
Yeah.
You look well.
Yes, I'm happy. Thank you.
So, on the first day of the Man Marziya shoot, you posted on Instagram this lovely picture of a chair, your makeup chair.
Yeah.
And you said possibly the scariest chair to be in.
Yes.
Was it really scary?
Yes, it was.
Why?
It's a bit of a long story. I didn't do any work for about 2 years in film, in terms of as acting. I just felt I needed to reboot somewhere. I wasn't happy with the kind of work I was doing. Not the kind of work that I was being offered, but the kind of work I was doing. I felt there was a sense of complacency that had crept into my work ethic. And that's something I've actually always said, that the minute an actor becomes complacent, that's when the decay starts. I think I became very comfortable in the work that I was doing. I'm not going to lie, I had a blast. I really enjoyed the films I was doing. I was working with people that I really care for and really love and really enjoy collaborating with. And, you know, I was making more money than I've made my entire career put together. But there comes a point of time where I think as an actor and as a creative person, you need to question yourself and ask that, is this what you really came here to do? And is this what you want to be remembered by? I think that's very important. It was a very difficult decision for me to take.
But it was like you sat down and said, you know what, I'm not going to work anymore?
No, I didn't say I'm not going to work anymore. I'm an actor. I'm from a film family. Dare I say it's in my blood. And at the end of the day, it's what I love doing, apart from the fact that that's all I know how to do. And, you know, you come from the film family now, and that's the environment around the house, and that's what wakes you up every morning. That's what fuels your passion. So I've never said, no, I'm going to stop acting. I'm just going to say, I said I need to reboot, I need to reevaluate, I need to get back to doing work that scares me. I need to get back to doing work that doesn't allow me to sleep at night. It's very convenient to do a film which you know when you sign it is going to be 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore film. You know the onus is not on you. Somebody else is shouldering the burden. You know that it's going to work wonders, and you know that literally, I mean, you can sleepwalk through the film and it's going to work. And that's a good space to be in. I'm not going to complain. I did quite a few of those. And I'm thankful for them because they're the most successful films I've ever made. And I'm immensely proud of them. I worked very hard on them. But I know somewhere that I was beginning to get complacent when I was getting offered more and more such films.
Listeners, I present my next song from the film Tera Jadoo Chal Gaya. Released in the year 2000, this was Abhishek Bachchan's second film, and I present the title track from this amazing soundtrack with music by Ismail Darbar and the vocals of Sonu Nigam.
ये चाहत ये बेताबी, ये चाहत ये बेताबी नाकाम नहीं है, नाकाम नहीं है। अब मेरे बिना उनको भी अब मेरे बिना उनको भी आराम नहीं है। सीने से ये दिल गया सीने से ये दिल गया, सीने से ये दिल गया सीने से ये दिल गया। तेरा जादू चल गया, तेरा जादू चल गया, तू मुझको मिल गया। सीने से ये दिल दिल गया सीने से ये दिल गया सीने से ये दिल गया दिल गया सीने से ये दिल गया तेरा जादू चल गया तेरा जादू चल गया तू मुझको मिल गया
तू मुझको मिल गया
हमको अपने हाथों की लकीरों में बसा लो
तुम ही नसीब अपना अब हमको बना लो
हमको अपने हाथों की लकीरों में बसा लो
तुम ही नसीब अपना अब हमको बना लो
हम तुम जुदा हो जाए हम तुम जुदा हो जाए आसान नहीं है सीने से ये दिल गया 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 तेरा जादू चल गया तेरा जादू चल गया तू मुझको मिल गया
तू मुझको मिल गया अब तुम मेरी बाहों में निगाहों में रहोगे
तुम जान बनकर मेरी सांसों में रहोगे
अब तुम मेरी बाहों में निगाहों में रहोगे
तुम जान बनकर मेरी सांसों में रहोगे एक तेरे सिवा होठों पे एक तेरे सिवा होठों पे कोई नाम नहीं है सीने से ये दिल गया 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 तेरा जादू चल गया तेरा जादू चल गया मुझको मिल गया
तू मुझको मिल गया
The title track to the film Tera Jadoo Chal Gaya, which was Abhishek Bachchan's second film released in the year 2000, with music by Ismail Darbar and the vocals of Sonu Nigam. You are listening to BHF Radio, the time is 8 minutes past 11, and I now return back to this great interview by veteran journalist Anupama Chopra interviewing Abhishek Bachchan.
I didn't want to be like, I can do this. I want to be in a place like saying, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And I want to be scared, like I was scared when I was doing Happy New Year. That's what the issue was. And I just felt that I needed to just reevaluate and get back to doing work that really made me uncomfortable. Which is, I mean, it's a kind of a duality of an actor. You know, you work hard. You know, when you first come into films, you struggle. You try and get a job. You get a job. Then you struggle with success or failure. And your entire efforts are towards achieving the best that you can achieve so that there's a level of comfort. and then you reach that level and you're like, no, wait, I don't want to be comfortable, I want to be uncomfortable. It's a bit of a duality of it's a paradox of an actor, that you actually, to be the best that you can be, you have to be at the worst stage that you have to be in. And so that was just a phase I was going through. Luckily, I had a lot of other work simultaneously. I had ventured into sports, which was another passion of mine. And I had a kabaddi team and a football team. I concentrated on that, set up the business for that. All with the end game, knowing that I needed to make this self-sufficient because I want to get back to acting. And in the meantime, I was looking. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to get work. I just wasn't being able to put the films on the floor that I wanted to make. And at the same time, trying to develop scripts or hear people or speak to people or reach out to people that I felt I would really like to work with. So it wasn't like I was on a 2-year holiday. It wasn't that. It's just that a film of mine didn't come out for 2 years. It was a process of just, getting back to doing what you need to. The one thing I think I take away from Man Marziya is the way Anurag pushed me and the way he made me perform. Is you realize that, okay, you've replenished that masala, it's there and it's ready to go. You want to do it, and once it's there, then the craft comes into it. I've always believed on some level, acting is it's a bit of a power trip.
What do you mean?
I think a great craftsman in performance it's about power, because you have something which is raw, which can really damage you and hurt you, and most of the time ends up doing that. And it's like a volcano, your emotion is just simmering, it's ready to come out. Actors love shots when we get to scream our lungs out, because you just let out everything, it feels good. The reason I say power is because a true craftsman will never give 100% of that emotion.
You hold back.
You got to control it. That's your craft. You have to understand. I can today be here and be very upset and just let it out. And when that emotion comes out in its raw form, it comes out as Abhishek Bachchan. It's not coming out as a character. The power is when you're able to control that anger. That's pushing to come out, and you control and say, no, you don't come out this way, you do it this way. So it's about power. It's a bit of an ego tussle with your inner self. That's exciting, It's like riding that wave, You have this huge wave and you ride it. I think that's the true beauty of acting, and only the greats manage to do it. So I think if I had to give you as close an example, I said, okay, I've managed to get off the surfboard. I'm on top of the wave. I don't know if I'll make it down to the bottom, but I've realized that, okay, yeah, this is the feeling, and I really enjoyed it, So now you go on to the next challenge and hope that you can do it again.
Listeners, I'd like to present another song from the film Dhai Akshar Prem Ke. This was a beautiful film which starred Abhishek Bachchan starring opposite Aishwarya Rai. And this was a very, very simple yet effective film with excellent music by Jubbin Rai. I present the vocals of Babul Supriyo together with Anuradha Podwal.
ने सजाई फूलों की डोलियां बोलो तुम भी बोलो कुछ मीठी बोलियां
हंसे क्यों काजल उड़े क्यों आंचल मौसम को सब है पता
जाने किधर से छुप के नजर से दिल पे कोई लिख जाए ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के तड़पाना घबराना शर्माना इश्क है दिल भर की चाहत में मर जाना इश्क है
कोई ना जाने ये सब दीवाने इश्क ने है सबको मारा
आग में जल गया एक परवाना कह के जलती शमा से
ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के
पल भर में जादू क्या हो गया है क्या मैंने पाया क्या खो गया है
शर्म से आए कैसे बताऊं तू पढ़ ले सजन मेरी आँखों में ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के
ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के
Babul Supriyo and Anuradha Podwar singing for Abhishek Bachchan and Aishwarya Rai from 2000 classic Dhai Akshar Prem Ke. It's 18 minutes past 11 and I'll be with you up until 12 noon today, and we return back to this amazing interview with Abhishek Bachchan.
You know what I find intriguing, Abhishek, is actresses take breaks usually for sort of practical reasons. They're going to have kids, they get married. With actors, it's a sort of deeper existential crisis.
Right.
You know, like you talked about, sort of feeling emotionally bankrupt, or you know, your dad took a 5-year break, or Mahesh Babu in Hyderabad, the Telugu superstar, took a 3-year break. Just at the peak of his career, said, no, I need to stop. Do you think, why is that? Like, why does it sort of burden men more?
I don't think it does. I think as human beings, be it an actor or an actress, you go through the same emotion, the same fear, lack of confidence. But sometimes it's just a decision you need to take. I think those that do it at the peak of their powers are immensely brave. On some level, maybe it was an easier decision for me, or the decision which I just needed to take. I think it's the same for the women as well. You go through the same insecurity, you know, be it a year, be it 2 years, be it 5 years. But it's just an attitude. I mean, if you look at, you know, an actor that we have that is just fantastic and is just at the top of his game is Amir, you know, and Amir does a film once every 2 years. I look at that and say, yeah, but he's working through those 2 years and he's got that. And I took those 2 years off and I said, okay, so what's the difference? You know, Aishwarya, after Aradhya was born, took a few years off because she wanted to concentrate on her daughter. And when she came back, she went through the same insecurities of, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to, you know, pick up where I left off? Do I have to climb that mountain again? Because the one thing is for certain, Anu, you know, people at the top of the mountain didn't land there. You know, they have to walk the way up. And sometimes you slip, or sometimes you just decide to jump off and say, I'm going to go down and come back up because I enjoyed the ride. So I think all of them do this, have to go through the same emotions.
You know, it's interesting. Mahesh Babu said that that break really helped him. It gave him clarity. It gave him confidence. It sort of changed his approach to what he does. But I've read a lot of interviews where your dad said, in fact, the 5-year break was a mistake because by the time he came back, he said the audience has changed, the industry had changed. What did it do for you?
I'll agree with Mahesh on that.
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing I've done in my entire career.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. It just sorted my head out. I think the best thing that I learned in the last 2 years, which is something shockingly, and I kick myself every morning about it, that I never did, is I never knew what I didn't want to do. I definitely know what I don't want to do, or what kind of work I don't want to do.
So there's full clarity on that.
You're never going to achieve full clarity, but it's the correct amount of clarity that you need as an actor. I think somewhere as an actor, I've always just coasted along. There's never really been a plan. I've just been this excited kid who's got the opportunity to make films, which has been his lifelong dream. It's a lot more than that. It kind of shatters a lot of ideal beliefs that you want to hold on to. It's not an ideal place. It's not the best place on earth. But guess what? Utopia does not exist. You can't just be Mr. Nice Guy. You can't be it and say, I want to be Mr. Nice Guy and then be successful. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way Mother Nature intended it. You can't have everything in life. Sacrifice is a huge part of being a successful actor. And that's something that I've finally come to terms with. I grappled with it initially, saying, no, I can do it. I can straddle both. And it's not possible. You have to sacrifice something to achieve something. There's, you got to pay your dues.
There are no free lunches.
No free lunches. And, as Gordon Gekko said, greed is good. You don't have to be obnoxious about it, but you have to be selfish about yourself. You have to be selfish about your work. You have to be selfish about your family. And most importantly, you have to be selfish about your audience. Because they're the guys that allow you to do what you do. And you owe them. I've been very blessed that I have an audience which loves me, which supports me, which have stood with me through thick and thin. You owe them, man. They're not just, it's not like, carry on doing whatever you want and we'll be behind you. No, you owe them. We're part of cinema. Cinema is because of the audience and you got to work for them.
But Abhishek, was it hard for the family? Did they wonder, what are you doing? Especially since Amitji has done the break thing himself and decided it wasn't good.
I think, in Dad's time, it was different.
It was different, of course.
92 is when he took the break.
Yeah.
Today, you're a lot more plugged into what's going on. And Dad and I have spoken about this a lot. And I think the main reason he felt it is because he felt he lost touch with what the audiences wanted. When he came back, he said, I worked with the same people that were making success with me before I left, but it was a different industry. They wanted something else. I think today, you're so well plugged in. Information is so much more readily available that you pretty much know what's going on. And like I said, I didn't stop or say, I don't want to be an actor anymore. I just said, I need to change the kind of films I'm doing.
Reboot.
That took 2 years for me to get the right film that I perceived to be the right film. So it wasn't like I was on a sabbatical. I was working every day. How was it on the family? I spoke to them, I told them, and they were very supportive. They also knew that I had my sports enterprises, which was going to keep me busy round the clock as well. So it's not like I wasn't working. I was working, and I was actually working very hard. A lot harder than I've worked when I was just acting, because now I had to try and get a film on the floor and, sort out my sports enterprises. So it was a lot of work. So they were okay with it. I think somewhere, I'm sure, if you just ask my parents, I'm sure somewhere they were like, okay, 1 year's gone by, what's this guy doing? I'm sure I think that's a parental instinct.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
My wife was fine, because I walk my family through everything that I do. So, they're on the same page. But I think maybe a parental instinct somewhere, if you ever ask them, and they've never told me, but I'm sure they somewhere said, okay, what are you doing? So I think there was a big sigh of relief when I left for Amritsar. They're like, okay. I wouldn't know if it was like he's finally out of the house, or I was like, okay, he's back to doing what he should be doing.
From the film Guru, released in the year 2007, A.R. Rahman singing with Chinmay. An absolutely adorable song, which, when I heard for the first time, I was driving and I wanted to start dancing, and I can't even dance. Enjoy, listeners, enjoy this track.
तेरे बिना बेसुआदी बेसुआदी रतियां ओ सजना तेरे बिना बेसुआदी बेसुआदी रतियां ओ सजना हो रुखी रे वो रुखी रे कांटू रे काटे कटे ना तेरे बिना बेसुआदी बेसुआदी रतियां ओ सजना तेरे बिना बेसुआदी बेसुआदी रतियां ओ सजना 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 काटे कटे ना तेरे बिना बेसुआदी बेसुआदी रतियां ओ सजना हो
The vocals of A.R. Rahman together with Chinmay from the 2007 super hit The Film Was Guru, starring Abhishek Bachchan in the role of Dhirubhai Ambani opposite Aishwarya Rai. And this particular song was A.R. Rahman's tribute to the late great Qawwal Ustad Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan with this amazing Sufi number. I return to this interview by veteran journalist Anupama Chopra, who interviews Abhishek Bachchan about his career highs and lows.
So I was doing this interview with Aishwarya about, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. And I've been talking to her for many, many years. And one of the themes she goes back to often is the middle path. This idea of not being swayed by success or bogged down by failure. So I said to her that, do you ever talk to Abhishek about this middle path? And this is what she said. I want to read out the whole thing to you. The thing about Abhishek is there's this fun-loving guy the world gets to see, and I get to see as well. He's spirited, the prankster, but he's also a very deep guy. Look at what he's born into, look at what he's lived with, what he has seen throughout his life, and look at what he has quietly stood by and stood tall. And incredibly self-contained in that, and that in itself speaks volumes for what he is within and how much mettle and strength there is. He might not project it, he might not share it, and I don't think, in fact, he even gives a glimpse into that intensity. I think some roles allow people to get a sneak peek into that, and that's where it simmers, but it's there. She said, I don't need to talk to him about a middle path. I think he's known it all his life. Is that true?
Wow, that's terribly sweet of her. Okay. I never really thought about it. Life was what it was and is what it is. There are two ways to look at it. And I say this and, I fear that I'll be misjudged. But please, I don't mean this in any arrogance. Please try and see it from my point of view. I grew up in a household with two immensely talented and famous artists. And all their friends were their colleagues. So that is the environment I grew up. So that was my normal. When I was a kid, I thought everybody had people standing outside their house waiting for a glimpse of their father. I didn't know any better. I think when I was sent to boarding school and I got a taste of the normal life, or as normal as it could be, that's when I started realizing that, okay, but that was my world. And in those days, we didn't have social media that you saw the stuff. We weren't allowed to watch television beyond watching the news. And there was only Doordarshan in those days. And we were allowed to watch a movie once a week, and that was on Sundays. It was either the Sunday movie on television, or once the VHS came up, we watched one of Dad's films. So that we were pretty cocooned that way. So that was our world. So there's no question of a left or a right or a middle path, or that's the only world you know. When you grow up, you have a bit more exposure. When you become a professional yourself is when you start realizing that, okay, there's all of this. And then you start having even more respect for your parents for having found that balance and not allowing that to affect you. The first time I think it kind of got to me, it's really weird. I think it was the 5th of September in 2004. Dhoom had come out a week before and was declared this big hit. It was my first out-and-out success. And not far from where we're sitting right now, the Marriott, Adi had kept a party. And we had this huge party. And when I walked through the lobby, for the first time, people actually started running towards me. I wasn't used to that. I think that was my first brush with, if I dare say, stardom. And I went nuts that night, having a lot of fun. And I remember very early in the morning when the party got over and, we didn't have a car or anything. So from the Marriott to my house is a 5-minute walk. So I decided to walk. And a very young Arjun Kapoor was with me, who was still an assistant and a dear friend of mine. And Aisha Deol was one of my colleagues in the film. And we walked from the Marriott to my house. During that walk, Mumbai was waking up and I was this rock star, I've given my hit and I've arrived, I was like, yeah, I had the swag, chest was out. People were stopping their cars, coming out, asking for autographs. Those days, camera phones were just about coming in, so that wasn't really the trend. And people are stopping and waving out and screaming. I just felt like, dude.
King of the world.
Move aside, I am here. And I remember I walked into my house through the gate, saw the other two off, sent them away in my car. And I was just like, this is what it means, This is what I was looking for all these years. I ring the doorbell, said they're going to open the door. I'm going to go to bed now like a king. And my dad opened the door. And he said, beta aage. And I said, Amitabh Bachchan. deflated right there. Like, that's
I present my next song from the film Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, that classic, that old film produced and directed by Karan Johar, which gives its modern day take on extramarital affairs. It starred Shah Rukh Khan, Priti Zinta, Rani Mukherjee opposite Abhishek Bachchan, and what a beautiful film this was. This song with the vocals of Sonu Nigam and Alka Yagnik. This film was released by Sony Pictures in the year 2006. With music by Shankar Ehsan Loy.
तुम ही देखो ना ये क्या हो गया तुम्हारा हूँ मैं और तुम मेरी
मैं हैरान हूँ तुम्हें क्या कहूँ कि दिन में हुई कैसे चांदनी
जागी जागी सी है फिर भी ख्वाबों में है खोई खोई जिंदगी
तुम ही देखो ना ये क्या हो गया
तुम्हारा हूँ मैं और तुम मेरी बहके बहके से मन महके महके से तन उजली उजली फिजाओं में है
आज हम हैं जहाँ कितनी रंगीनियाँ छलकी छलकी निगाहों में है
नीली नीली घटाओं से है छन रही हल्की हल्की रोशनी
तुम ही देखो ना ये क्या हो गया
तुम्हारा हूँ मैं और तुम मेरी
मैं हैरान हूँ तुम्हें क्या कहूँ कि दिन में हुई कैसे चांदनी
सच ये इकरार है सच यही प्यार है बाकी बंधन है सब झूठ के
मेरी सांसों में घुल रही प्यार की धीमी धीमी रागिनी
तुम ही देखो ना ये क्या हो गया तुम्हारा हूँ मैं और तुम मेरी
मैं हैरान हूँ तुम्हें क्या कहूँ कि दिन में हुई कैसे चांदनी
जागी जागी सी है फिर भी ख्वाबों में है खोई खोई मेरी
ये दिल में हुई कैसे चांदनी.
And my dad opened the door. And he said, beta aa gaya? And I said, Amitabh Bachchan. Deflated right there. I was like, that's God. You're nothing, man. So I came home to that. I come home to these guys, and they're completely normal. He came out in his nightgown with his glasses and he's reading the papers. He's like, oh, you're home? I'm like, oh, okay. That's greatness. You're nothing. So, you get a reality check
very quickly
every day. So I think that's the only time I could have veered for those couple of hours. After that, it's just fine, and I think it's all transient also. You realize when you see somebody like dad at home or mom, even Aishwarya, that's the thing it's not even discussed or even thought about. Because I think everybody realizes in our family, me included, that at the end of the day, it's what you do in front of the camera that's going to matter. You do that well, the rest of it will just deal with it. And it's going to go. It's not going to be there forever. Unless you're Amitabh Bachchan. But we all hope we can be. But it's not, it's going to deplete. We've all been in situations where you've walked into the room and you're the center of attention. You've walked into that same room a couple of years later and there's a new kid on the block who's the new sensation and you're sidelined.
But it's so brutal, Abhishek.
It is brutal. It crushes you. But how nice that you're able to come back, power, control. That you can control that emotion, say, I'm going to use that in my next shot. But that's the way it is, and it's the same for everybody in every field. It's just that we do it on a public platform, so we must be there's a certain masochistic streak about actors. You like to suffer on a public stage, but that's the life you choose.
But listen, you're better at it than many others. I mean, what I really admire is your ability to laugh at yourself. Do you remember when Rajkumar Rao put out that tweet about what if there were no surnames in the world? And you responded with, no, that's all I've got.
Right. So
I thought that was just
let me burst your bubble. That wasn't me.
That wasn't you?
No, that wasn't me.
Listen, I have to say, I love that. And that
It was great. I had this parody account that a lot of people mistake for me. But that was a parody, and that parody account is very, very funny.
It's very good.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
But listen,
But I'd probably say that as well.
You would.
So, yeah.
I could completely believe that you would say it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was like, oh, he's out of character.
Yeah.
No, it felt completely in character with you. So is it just who you are, or have you had to work at it?
I'm pretty facetious, I think, which kind of goes against me most of the time. But that's just the way I've always been. I don't remember having to work at it, but I just see maybe my sense of humor is a bit warped. I find some of these things funny. I mean, on Twitter a lot of the time I get a lot of these guys who like to take a swing at me, and I'm fine with that because I'm here, man. I'm public property. Go for it. But if you're going to take a swing at me, bro, I'm going to swing back. And be prepared for that. It's just that my way of doing it is different. My sense of wit or whatever you call it is different. I have a bit of a wry and dry sense of humor. And at the end of the day also, you can't take yourself so seriously, Anu. You have to learn to laugh at yourself because they're either going to do it at your face or they're going to do it behind your back, but they're going to do it.
Right.
So, just enjoy it. And everybody has an opinion. And as an actor, and I mean this very seriously, as an actor, it's important to hear everybody's opinion. You shouldn't be arrogant enough to think that I'm the best and I know everything and I'm correct all the time. Once in a while, it's nice to retort. Once in a while, it's nice to have some fun with it. But you must log it as well that, it upsets me when somebody writes something negative about me, albeit in a joking way, or they're trying to belittle you or whatever. I can reply back. I have a reply for, pretty much everything. I reply. I might not believe entirely what they're saying. I might not agree with what they're saying, but I have to remember what they're saying because there's a reason why they're saying it.
So you make a note of it.
I absolutely make a note of it. And this is also one of the major reasons why I decided to go into this metamorphosis phase of mine. It's how do you want to be remembered? We all want to be remembered, Anu. If you don't want to be remembered, why are you an actor?
And dear listeners, I present my next song from the film June Barabar June, picturized on Bobby Deol, Abhishek Bachchan, Lara Datta and Preeti Zinta. This film was released in the year 2007, directed by Shad Ali Sehgal and produced by Yash Raj Films.
ओ आजा आजा रब्बा इश्क दी खोल गुत्तियां आजा रब्बा इश्क दी खोल गुत्तियां ओ आजा आजा रब्बा इश्क दी खोल गुत्तियां घट ना मुनाफे अनमोल गुत्तियां ते लागी जो लगावे ना लगे आशिकी ओ ते लागी जो लगावे ना लगे आशिकी उड़ती उड़ती अखियों के लड़ गए पैंचे लड़ गए वे गीत लगा के झूम 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 बराबर 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 कहाँ रब जाने जब लगे जहाँ सब जाने रब्बा हर चोट मजा देती है जीने की सजा देती है रब्बा झूठी मूठी बातें सुन के गुनगुनाती आंखें सुन के जलावे बुझावे बुझावे जलावे वो मोमबत्तियाँ जलावे बुझावे बुझावे जलावे वो मोमबत्तियाँ उड़ती उड़ती अखियों के लड़ गए पैंचे लड़ गए वे गीत लगा के झूम 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 बराबर 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 पुराना पापी हर बार खता करता है रब्बा हर बार बचाता हूँ मैं हर बार ये जा मरता है रब्बा पास कोई आ गया तो रास कोई आ गया तो बार 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 कलेजे पे न मार अखियाँ उड़ती उड़ती अखियों के लड़ गए पैंचे लड़ गए वे ठीक लगा के झूम 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 बराबर 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 आजा 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 रब्बा इश्क दी खोल गुत्तियां काटे ना मुनाफे अनमोल गुत्तियां ते लागी जो लगावे ना लगे आशिकी ते लागी जो लगावे ना लगे आशिकी उड़ती उड़ती अखियों के लड़ गए पैंचे लड़ गए वे गीत लगा के झूम 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 बराबर 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 झूम बराबर
want to do something that you can leave behind. You want to leave behind a legacy. These are things I never thought about before. I started thinking once I had my daughter. And I don't want to be remembered as a joke. You know, some people think that. I don't know. And I remember many years ago, I can't remember exactly when or exactly what the person said, that somebody tweeted something, a meme, bringing my daughter into, and that really upset me. And I said, look, you want to take a go at me? I'm perfectly fine with that. Leave my daughter out of it. She has nothing to do with this. She's not on social media, and don't bring her into this. And they responded something like, no, we don't think your films are nice. I said, look, you don't like my films? Cool, thank you. I will work hard to make sure that I make films that you like. And I really meant that, because each and every one matters. You know, I genuinely believe if I can make a difference to just one person in the audience, I feel I've achieved something. Maybe not what I want to achieve. I want to make everyone happy. Actors want to entertain, especially in Indian films. It's not just about the craft and, my creativity. It's about entertainment as well. I want to entertain. I want to be a showman. I want to make everyone happy. So if there's even one person who doesn't like my work, I'm going to note that. And that is important for every actor. You cannot be blasé and say, but the majority love me. No, for me, even if one person doesn't like my work, I need to take notice of that. And that's kind of what, I really enjoyed about social media. It made me realize that there's a share of people that might not like your work. So why are they not liking my work? What can I do to make them like my work? Because even if, and like Aishwarya tells me a lot, her favorite thing is it's water off a duck's back.
Yes, she said that to me.
She says this very often,
yes,
and I see a lot of merit in that, because it's a good way to keep your sanity.
Absolutely.
But we're actors, we're pretty insane as it is. And my thing is, no, I need to have that goal that I want to make everyone happy. I want everyone to come out of my film and say yes. And even if there's one person who hasn't liked something, I'm going to take note of that, because I want to work towards making that person happy. It's not that I want to prove a point to them. I genuinely want to entertain them. I want them to be on my side. I want them to love me. So, I think that also contributed a lot to me going back and saying, okay, let me get back to doing what I think I can do better.
So in the 18 years that you've been making movies, Abhishek, is there one character or film or scene where you felt like you really nailed it? Where you felt you got closest to the emotion you were trying for?
Several.
What would one be?
Sadly, that lasted till the end of the trial when I first saw the film.
And
the
then?
next day, I'm like, I could have done better here. I could have done better there.
Are you very critical of yourself?
Very critical. Yeah. I actually, I have notebooks where I make notes.
About what?
And I tried something
On your
which
own
I tried to copy you,
Huh.
because I remember we were at the premiere of Avatar together. And your husband and I were sharing popcorn, and we were in, I think it was Vadala, if I'm not mistaken, at the IMAX. And it first bothered me because after every 3 minutes, suddenly we were all wearing 3D glasses, and this one flash of light would come on. And I'd look, and Anu's there with a pad with this one extended lamp where she was making notes. Yes. I'm like, what is she doing? And by the end of it, I'm like, wow, that's a really good idea. Because, when you're you can't assimilate your thoughts as precisely afterwards.
Right.
Because afterwards, you're just immersed in the experience. So I tried that. I couldn't do it, like keep notes during the movie.
Huh.
But I review my films very often, and I make notes. So even a film that I felt at that point of time that I did a good job in, a couple of weeks, couple of months later, you feel that you've fallen short and you could have done much better. You keep finding mistakes. I think that's good. You should find mistakes. It helps you grow.
But do you not ever pat yourself on the back and say, well done, Abhishek?
No.
Never. Like one performance.
No, I think somewhere as an actor, it's not about what you think, it's about what your audience is going to think. And the people that are going to watch the film. So actually, that's your ultimate test. You could have done your best job. Nailed it. Opening day, 50 lakhs. What? So I think being a film actor, at the end of the day, the pat on the back is what the audience gives you through collections, what the critics give you through their reviews. That's what matters. And that's what you're looking for as well. After a while, what you think doesn't really matter. So I think it's more about the viewer. Yeah, I haven't been entirely happy with any of my work. And if it's not just about a performance, it could be something very cosmetic and trivial as the way you looked or something. It can be anything. So no, there hasn't been any film which I feel nailed it. At that point, maybe when I did the short, I said, yeah, I gave it my best, which I'd like to believe I do in all my films. But at that point, say, okay, I can't do better than this. But the problem, and it's a good problem to have, is by the time you come to see that, you've evolved and you've hopefully improved. So what was your best a couple of months ago is not good enough anymore.
And through these 18 years, are there any regrets? Are there any decisions you wish you hadn't taken, or, roads left untraveled?
The sad part about retrospect is everything seems terrible because you just find a better way of doing everything. So yeah, I do think that I could have done things in a different way. Do I regret making the movies that I made? No. Because I think each and every one was a huge learning experience. The ones that did well, the ones that didn't do well either. So no, that I'm happy I did that because it's made me the actor that I am today, and I stand or sit before you today because as a result of those films. A huge regret for me, which I've always been very vociferous about, is I wish I was more prepared when I first started. I wish I was a more accomplished, a more aware, a more prepared actor when JP Saab signed me for Refugee. I feel somewhere I could not live up to the expectations that he had for me. And he means a lot to me. JP Saab introduced me to this world. He's held my hand through it all. Even when we've not been working together. He's been a mentor to me. And I just feel that he became my schooling for cinema when I should have already been schooled before I came to him. He's never mentioned it. And I don't think he thinks that way about me. I think his love for me is beyond that. But as his actor, as his boy, I feel that I wish before my first film. And I don't know if that feeling would have been the same with another film that I was going to start off with. I hope so. But I just wish I was more prepared when I first came into the industry. I was, like I said, I was just a kid in a candy shop. I was just so happy that somebody signed me, and it took me 2 years when nobody was signing me. And people don't believe this, but it's a fact. And I was just so excited that, oh my God, I've got a job. I mean, I remember coming to your house to screen test for Mission Kashmir also. And Vidhu took me to the roof and made me pose with the rose. I still remember. I'm like, what am I doing? And
Actor Abhishek Bachchan in conversation with veteran journalist Anupama Chopra. And listeners, you can all observe that Abhishek is as humble as his wife and his father. After all, fame is in their genes, but also humbleness is even there as well. I would like to say my goodbyes to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are at the end of the program, and I don't know where this program has gone today, but I will be presenting Divash's Bollywood flashbacks between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock tomorrow, where I will be showcasing the first death anniversary of the great thespian, the Emperor of Hindi cinema, Dilip Kumar. In the meantime, I leave you with this beautiful trademark song from the film Bunty Aur Bubbly, picturized on Amitabh, Abhishek and Aishwarya Bachchan. In the meantime, may your God be with you, have a safe and great Saturday, and I look forward to speaking with you at 11 o'clock tomorrow on Divash's Bollywood Flashbacks. I once again bid you goodbye for now, and may your God be with you always.
तुझसे मिलना पुरानी दिल्ली में छोड़ आए निशानी दिल्ली में पल्ली मारा से दरी बेतलक तेरी मेरी कहानी दिल्ली में ओ काली कमली वाले को याद करके तेरे काले काले नैनों की कसम खाते हैं ओ तेरे काले काले नैनों की बलाएं ले लूं तेरे काले काले नैनों को दुआएं दे दूं मेरी जान उदास है होठों पे प्यास है आजा रे ओ तेरी बातों में इमाम की खुशबू है ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है ओ तेरी बातों में इमाम की खुशबू है ओ तेरा आना भी गर्मियों की लू है मेरी अंगड़ाई न टूटे तू आजा मेरी अंगड़ाई न टूटे तू आजा कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना ओ तेरे नैना जुड़वा नैना तेरे नैना जुड़वा नैना ओ तेरे नैनों में छुप के रहना तेरे नैनों में छुप के रहना ओ कजरा रे तेरे कारे कारे नैना कजरा रे तेरे कारे